I recently helped one of my clients close a $4.2 million new construction hospital project. Here's how. I remember a few years ago, one of my clients, Xavier Miranda, go-to guy, when he first started with us, one of our first projects was a project called A-Loft. And he was doing like basic subcontractor stuff. And I remember one time he tells me, oh, I'm going to go after my general contractor's license. And I'm like, yeah, go for it, go for it. Well, after that, some time passed and I hadn't talked to him for a long time. And one day he calls me, he says, Daniel, I have an opportunity to bid this massive hospital project. So there's a hospital chain called Jackson Hospital down here in South Florida. Right off of one of the highways, are building this like ridiculously big new construction, modern, with like a cantilever, super cool design. And he calls me up and he says, hey, can you help me estimate a job? You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to bid it. I would be interested in bidding it, but I'm just really worried about, like, I don't know if I should do this job. And I go, Xavier, why wouldn't you do this project? Like, it seems like a really good opportunity for you. He goes, no, because like I'm worried about the financing. Like, I'm a small contractor. I don't have that much credit line. I'm scared of the numbers. Like, are the numbers going to be accurate? And I go, Xavier, listen, I'll help you. I told him, I'll help you every step of the way. But let me ask you something. Do you want to reach your goals and dreams? And he's like, yeah, of course. And I said, the only way that you're going to reach your goals and dreams of what you want to accomplish is if you invest in yourself. And that's the thing that I battle with a lot of even my own clients, that they see themselves as the little guy. They see themselves as, I can't do it because of XY reason. And the reality is, you are more than capable of building this thing. That's what I told Xavier. He goes, can you estimate this job and can you help me like negotiate it? Because I'm still new to all this. Like, all I know how to do is like stucco and paint and stuff like that. And I go, yeah, sure, of course, let me help you. So I prepare an estimate, and there was this, I think it was like 7 floors. So what happened was, there was this company, the construction management firm. What they did was they subcontracted multiple consultants and general contractors to handle different scopes of work of the project. Now, scope of work is basically where they'll say, all right, so this general contractor is going to handle the framing and the drywall. This one's going to handle the concrete. This one's going to handle mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So basically they divided the scope of work into multiple different companies. And a lot of times they do that because they don't want to have too much risk. They don't want to have too much money to one company. So this company called Epic Consulting, they ended up getting hired for this project. And it just so happened that one of Xavier's project managers happened to have been prospecting. And I talk about this all the time: prospect. Go with your business card everywhere you go, and you never know who you're going to run into. So this guy meets Epic Consulting, and he gives them the business card, and he said, hey, in the future, if you guys ever need like subcontractor work or framing and drywall, we can help you. So they get a phone call from Epic Consulting. Hey, can you bid this job? And that's how the whole thing started. We ended up estimating the project, 7 stories. We did the framing and the drywall, and he ended up getting our initial contract was $3.8 million for labor only, because Jackson Hospital was going to be buying all the materials to save on cost. Now, here's the cool thing. This is a prevailing wage project. So usually when you do projects for the government, for the county, for government organizations, you have a requirement from what is called the Davis-Bacon Act, which is, it's called prevailing wages. So they're scaled wages. Essentially, you have to pay the minimum to your people, and you have to show a certified payroll. You have to show proof that you paid this to your people. So for example, it could be where the government says you have to pay framers $30 an hour plus vacation days and paid time off. So when you calculate your numbers, typically in government jobs, since it's the government, everybody puts their price. You go by the prevailing wage, plus they put a huge cushion. So everybody makes money off of the labor, and they make money off of the profit at the end of the job. That's typically how government jobs are bid. So if you want a quick rule of thumb for a prevailing wage job, you go to sam.gov, you find your prevailing wage number, and let's say it's $30 an hour. You add the wages plus the fringe benefits. And then what you do is, here's a rule of thumb, is you multiply that times 1.8. And if you use that number, that is the perfect number to go in to bid government projects. I've experimented with this. When I first started, I would do, like the payroll tax of 7 point whatever percent. And then I would add the unemployment insurance and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, our number always looks super low. So after experimenting back and forth, 1.8 is the perfect number. So anyways, we bid this job. He goes under contract negotiation, and there's a period of time when you're going back and forth with a GC. So they go back and forth. They finally agree on a price, and I helped him secure. I go to the job site walkthrough one of the days because I wanted to help him close that job. And he walked out of there with a $4.2 million project. Amazing. And this is basically, he took a chance. He swung for the fence. And this is like a story for the little guy. Like if you're a smaller contractor, a one-man operation, and you're just like trying to get by, this is not how you do business. You got to invest in yourself. You got to go out there, try to get projects. And here's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, I can't do bigger projects. But the reality is bigger projects are going to be way easier to manage because it's one big project with one set of plans, with one superintendent, with one architect, with one set of revisions. It's going to be way easier to do that than to manage 10 smaller projects. The only difference is, one, you're going to use your bank for financing using a credit line. And two, you're going to use your suppliers and your vendors. And three, you're just going to use your same crews that you're already using, but instead of doing a project in a month or 2 months fast, like a quick turnover, they're going to give you 6 months to a year, for example. That's just an example of how big projects are done. Now, how are you doing your projects? Go ahead and put your comments below and let me know what you think. Now, what's a takeaway from all of this? So number one, you have to invest in yourself. Number two, you have to bid jobs and you can't be scared. And number three, you have to have someone that's going to help you with your estimating. Now, I cover step by step how to grow your business to $1 million in a free training that I have below in the description. So go ahead and click below or go to iambuilders.com/training and you're going to see the best training on basically where you are today. If you're a small guy or a small GC, small sub, step by step on exactly what you need to do to grow your construction business. So go ahead and click below, watch that video. Click subscribe if you want to get notified of future videos, and let me help you grow your construction business.